There you are.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our watch-along for Alfreton Town versus Oxford City in the National League North. I think this game can be pretty appropriately described as a six-pointer at the bottom end of the table. Alfreton find themselves in 16th place in the league. Oxford down there in 20th, just the one spot above the drop zone. And the visitors coming into this game off the back of a 7-0 thumping at the hands of our Derbyshire rivals Buxton. So I think it's one that Billy and the boys are going to be looking at as a must-win, effectively. And if that's not to be the case, then I think you're looking at the final games of the season and the run-in, and you're worrying a little bit more. But if we can finally break that duck today, get the first win at the Impact in 2025, then hopefully things could start looking up a bit and we could end the season without any worry. Matty, what are your thoughts on the game today?
Yeah, it's absolutely make or break, isn't it? But I'm looking at it through, maybe tinted glasses. Tuesday night was, despite the result, a good performance, I thought. I thought we had chances in that game. Jake missed a couple of chances that he'll probably admit himself he should absolutely bury, and on another day he does. Francis had a big chance. So, we had chances in that game. And we didn't take them, and we were punished because Scunthorpe did take their kind of 2 or 3 chances that they had, scored those goals, and that sort of ultimately let us down. We looked positive at Brackley in that new shape. It was something interesting with the two up front between Jake and Francis, because since Francis came in while Jake was injured, he really impressed me. I thought he brought a lot to the team, and that two up top was working really well until Jake had to go off. He only had 45 minutes in the tank that day for injury management purposes, but we're seeing that again today. There's a little preview to the team sheet. We are going to get the two up top between Francis and Dale, unless Francis is being used out wide again like he was on Tuesday evening. He did come out on that right hand side, but yeah, it's one of those. I was looking at the league table this morning, and I fear we're being dragged into a relegation battle, because all the teams below us have minus goal difference, but we're the last team in minus goal difference, and I think that's something that's a bit telling to our position in the league, that there's not a team above us also in the minuses. We're kind of the best of the rest in terms of that kind of bottom half at the moment, statistically. But if we don't get that first win at home in 2025 today, I'm really, really starting to worry. I think we've worked out it's about 7 points from a possible 45.
Yeah.
And even if we win today, 10 from 48 still isn't great, but the average significantly goes up.
Yes, absolutely.
I think 3 points mandatory today, especially after we threw away that 2-goal lead against Warrington. But yeah, like you say, these guys coming off a thumping. I'd love if we could score 7 today. I don't think that'll happen. I'm sure they'll be out for redemption, a bit of, retribution from that game. I've been watching the warm-ups. They look sharp. They've got a bit about them. By no means are we going to underestimate Oxford City this afternoon, but hopefully this will be the game where we can finally get that home win under our belt and maybe put together a run. But we've been saying that every week now. Yeah. Hopefully we can get a win and start putting a run together. I think it has to happen. It's getting to the point where it has to be now.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the fact that we worked out the point tally 7 from a possible 45. It's certainly not, doesn't make for good reading, but Oxford City themselves, I mean, it's encouraging from an Alfreton perspective that they've not been on a spectacular run of form either, failing to win any of their last 7 matches, and a penalty shootout defeat in the FA Trophy in the mix of that as well against Woking. But the most important thing is the previous match, as we mentioned, right as we went live, that 7-0 defeat. I think it's going to go one of two ways. You're either going to see Oxford today come out full of, sort of, as you mentioned, the retribution and the want to get back and fight their way back up the table, or they're going to be shot of confidence and it could go to the other end of the spectrum. And obviously from an Alfreton perspective, we're going to be hoping that that is the case today and the Reds can finally get off the mark at the Impact in 2025 as we approach the final run-in for the season. But Oxford, a side that accustomed to this level in multiple different divisions, obviously used to compete in the National League South, got that promotion to the National League via the playoffs, and now find themselves back in the 6th tier, currently just above the relegation zone by 2 points ahead of Needham Market and Warrington. Both sides that Alfreton have failed to beat here at the Impact this season. Obviously Warrington most recently succumbing to that late comeback from the Yellows, a 2-2 draw, and Needham Market, an even more impressive late comeback as they ended up turning around a 2-goal deficit, winning that one 3-2 with that last goal in the final minute from Reggie Lamb. But 10 minutes before kick-off today, and Alfreton have to be looking at this one as a must-win. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and it's worth saying as well, just today, we're expecting the teams to come out a little bit earlier.
We are.
With there being a planned minute silence for the team's bus driver, Trev, who tragically passed away in recent weeks. He was the bus driver for 18 years. So there will be a minute silence ahead of today's game, just so you're prepared. We were caught off at Brackley.
Caught at Brackley, yeah.
Yeah, with the minute silence. So just, if we go quiet, and you'll know what that's for now. But we are, well, there's no one in the tunnel yet, but we're expecting to see them within the next couple of minutes, probably, with
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
them coming out a little bit earlier. But
Line up around the centre circle. But yeah, did you want to drop the little announcement ahead of kick-off?
You might have seen it in the chat. We've put in that please stick around during half-time today. We've planned a new kind of half-time show, little game, because we thought it was just a bit distasteful, always kind of disappearing at half-time, going black screen, no sound, leaving the stream up, and people not knowing when to come back. I think we thought put on a little bit of entertainment during half-time, and people can stick around, and then you don't have to, keep coming back and checking on the back yet kind of thing. You can, be entertained during the 15 minutes, and then you can get straight back into the action as well. So look out for that. I'll leave it as a reminder just before half-time as more people come in during the game.
Yeah.
But expect, it's exciting, and it's a game you can get involved in as well. It's interactive.
It is indeed.
I've used all my intellectual knowledge to put this together.
But yeah, as we approach kick-off, 8 minutes to go. The reverse fixture this season that we can talk about, Alfreton coming out 2-1 winners in that one. Probably a good omen going into this match. Late goal in that one, a turnaround, as Adam Hansen and Jake Day scored in very quick succession to turn that from a 1-0 scoreline to a 2-1 win on the road. And that was at a time where wins were sort of far between. Not so bad as it is now, but it was a game where Jake Askew had come into the side. It was not too long after George Willis's injury, and obviously we now know he's out for the rest of the season. And Jake Askew himself is also injured today, unfortunately. So no mention for him in the squad today. But yeah, we mentioned the 2 changes in the squad, which we'll run you through the lineups as the teams take to the field, like we usually do. But as well as the 2 changes in personnel, we also think there's going to be a change of shape as well, judging by the 11 that's been put out by Billy Heath.
I can see the team lining up in the traditional kind of shape, but I think it makes more sense for the shape to be changed.
Yeah, especially because we noticed the change against Brackley, which was a big shift, obviously moving to that 3 at the back with 2 men up top in Francis and Day. Something that we saw last season as well, that back 3 that was quite successful at times during that season, but then that system reverted back to the usual against Scunthorpe, and by no means a bad performance, but another loss to add to the tally. So we've seen, obviously, Jake Day and Akil Francis both named in the lineup today, but whether that's the 2 up top or Day through the middle, Francis out wide, along with Osborne on the opposite flank, which it may well be. Osborne we've only seen play out wide, but if it was to be the 2 up top, you'd imagine it would be some sort of diamond shape with Osborne in the 10 and the midfielders either side of him. But time will tell, I suppose, when the teams take to the field.
Yeah.
We'll bring you confirmation of that, obviously, once the game gets underway.
I would like to see the 5, but I could really see kind of Jake through the middle, Francis out on the right again from Tuesday evening. I thought he did a decent job in the cameo he had out there. Osborne out on the left. That's got the potential, because I'm looking, the 5 back, you're going to have one of those pivots potentially being Waldock or Osborne with Cantrell if it is a 5, and probably London be most likely to drop into centre half if that was the case. I don't see that happening, and then the other potential kind of shape would be a diamond Lund sitting just in front of a back four, and then Waldock Cantrell is kind of those kind of box-to-box midfielders. But it's either, I think it either has to be a diamond, which we haven't seen before, or more likely, I think it may be just the regular 4-3-3 with Francis out on the right.
Well, we will wait and see as the teams do line themselves up in the tunnel behind the officials. And as we mentioned, we'll bring you the teams as they exit the tunnel before green away strip. And we'll run you through the lineups right now. Alfreton Town, we'll start with the home side, 28, David Robson in goal, and the defence, we'll run through it as we think it's going to be the back four, but we'll do it in number order just so we don't get anything wrong. Number 3, and the captain today, Max Hunt. Number 4, Adam Lund. Number 8, George Cantrell. Number 9, Jake Day. Number 10, Liam Waldock. Number 23, Nathan Newell. Number 25, Sam Osborne. Number 29, David Solademi. 32, Akil Francis. And 33, Luke Matheson. And on the bench for the Reds, number 2, Josh Claxton. Number 6, Dwayne Wiley. Number 11, Lewis Salmon. Number 14, Jed Abbey. And number 30, Owen German.
Yeah, and for the visitors this afternoon, they start with, I think there's a spelling error on the team sheet that someone's trying to go over. Well, I'll just go second name. 13 in goalkeeper, Walker. 2, Andre Burley. 3, Chi Ezanolim. 4, Josh Ashby, who is captain today. 5, Jalen Jones. 10, Zach McEachran. 14, Josh Parker. 15, Tom Scott. 22, Jaden Carbon. 23, Jacob Roddy, number 29. Aaron Drew. And on the bench is 7, Lewis Coyle. 11, Rohan Vaughan. 16, Alfie Potter. 18, Phil Crooker. And 24, Jaden Potman.
There we go. Those are your lineups at the Impact this afternoon. We're seeing the teams now come to the centre circle. The captain's discussing with the referee. Obviously, we should have that minute silence ahead of kickoff, hence why they've come out a little bit earlier for the match today. And we will obviously be silent during that time, so be prepared. Don't be alarmed if you're not hearing any sound. The squads line up either side of the centre circle now for a minute's silence for the Alfreton Town coach driver Trev, who sadly passed away recently this year. Is all we've known when we've been getting on the coach to these away games, and it's been a bit of a shock without him. But we will now observe that minute's silence very shortly. Well, there we go, a wonderfully observed minute silence at the Impact ahead of kickoff. And we will see Alfreton shooting towards the tin end in the first half by the looks of it. No kickoff switch this time, which has been a common theme of late. And it could be, yeah, judging by the fact Adam Lunder's kind of stood himself alongside the back line, it could be the back three with Madison and Newell as the wing backs. Obviously, as the game develops, we'll bring you news of what that may be. But Oxford City,
It looks like Francis is out on the right, though.
Does I reckon it'll be Lund sitting in the six.
In the 6 with same shape. Francis just out on the right.
Well, Oxford City skipper Josh Ashby stands over the kickoff, ready to get us underway just as the sun comes out here at the Impact on a windy day. We'll see if that plays a part. And the referee moves to the edge of the centre circle, check with the goalkeepers. Just as we reach 3 o'clock, there is the whistle. Oxford City get things underway here, looking to go direct immediately. It's headed away up towards Jake Day. Liam Waldock tries to get that one under control and knock it out to Francis, who has started on that right-hand side. And Alfreton to come forward quickly at the start. Both teams contest for that throw, but it will go the way of Oxford City.
Fantastic little step over there from Francis to come in on the inside.
Does look like it is going to be that usual shape with the back four. Adam Land sitting, Cantrell, Waldock making up the rest of the midfield with Francis and Osborne on either flank, and obviously Jake Day out there through the middle. Oxford City have themselves another throw slightly further forward. Former Maidstone man Chi Ezenolim launches that one down the line. Headed away by Hunt up towards Waldock, who battles for that one on the halfway line. Solidemi eventually clears. It's a hopeful one over to the right-hand side. Jake Day does give chase up against Jones, who clears away for the throw-in. Bounces just outside the Alfreton dugout. And a mere minute into this fixture, Adam Lund's going to have his first opportunity to launch this one into the box from just beyond the home dugout. Max Hunt and David Solidemi head forwards into that 6-yard area. Matteson and Newell, the only Alfreton players who stay back. There comes the throw in towards the near post. Comes up to Jake Day, tries the left-footed volley. He doesn't quite catch it right, and that one's going to trickle out for a goal kick. His first real action of the game.
Just leaning a bit too far back there. Jake couldn't get the ball under his own control. Did the right thing, kind of swinging his left foot out, trying to get it kind of into that area, but he couldn't get a true connection.
First real shots, first effort of the afternoon does go the way of the Reds. Header was won at the front post by an Oxford City player, but then Jake Day was able to latch onto it as he dropped off, brought it down on his chest. Those left-footed volley left a little to be desired. As Oxford City do take that goal kick straight up to the front man, Josh Parker, and he wins himself a free kick around 30 yards from goal. Oxford City will have an opportunity to respond to that initial Alfreton effort. Straight away seeing the captain, Josh Ashby, stand alongside the referee in preparation to take this free kick. Sort of beyond the distance where a wall's necessary. So Liam Waldock, the lone red shirt, stood 10 yards from the free kick taker. And for what looks to be becoming a weekly occurrence, the goalkeeper's warm-up posts have had to be plucked out of the byline by both David Robson and Josh Parker and chucked behind the line. Someone needs to remember to tidy up after themselves. But there goes the whistle from the referee. Ashby, one arm raised, right-footed delivery from the right-hand side towards the back post, finds its way through. Looked as if Jalen Jones was about to latch onto that one, but Max Hunt is able to clear. Bounces out for a throw just in front of the away dugout inside the Alfreton half. Alfreton clear their lines for now. Looks like this throw is going to be left to the left fullback, Ezenolim, once again. It will go down the line, looking for Parker inside the area, headed away by Solidemi. Francis looking to provide some defensive aid, but he loses out into the area. Flicked on by Parker with his foot, but that one is a simple claim for David Robson. First time he's had to deal with the ball this afternoon. Takes his time before distributing, waits for the Alfreton players to make their way back up the field. Goes that drop kick aimed at Jake Day. Liam Waldock tries to get his head to it. He's contested well by Tom Scott. Jones wins that header, and Cantrell able to recycle back to Nathan Newell. Looks to clip that one down the line to the half space where Waldock was lurking, but Jones comes across to clear. Out for an Alfreton throw on the left-hand side, and we will see Adam Lund stride over to take this one as expected. Hunt and Solidemi make their way forward once again. Interesting to see Max Hunt with the armband today, as opposed to George Cantrell.
Yeah, that is. Usually it is George if it's not Dwayne, but clearly Billy's seen something in Max.
Adam Lund's throw causes a bit of chaos inside the area. Was there an arm in there? The Alfreton players think so. But at the end of it, Laurie Walker comes away with the ball in his hands. Right on the goal line, the throw was delivered to the front post. Heavily contested by a crowd of bodies. It's kind of made its way through to the centre of the 6-yard box. And a crowd of players, Alfreton trying to poke it in, Oxford trying to clear their lines. But eventually it ends with Laurie Walker claiming the ball to his chest. Alfreton a few appeals for an arm from an Oxford City player, but the referee says nothing doing. And straight up the other end, Oxford City waste no time and win themselves a corner. Yeah, first one of the afternoon.
It looked to me just up on that chance up there as Hunt headed it across the 6-yard box. It was right to Waldock, and if he just got a touch on it and turned it towards goal, it would have ended up in the back of the net. And he just missed the header completely, and if he gets anything on it, it ends up in...
By Josh Aspey on that right-hand side. It's going to be a right-footed delivery from the captain. In it goes towards the back post, headed away by Max Hunt. Does come back out to an Oxford City player, though. Recycled out to Ashby. The Alfreton players think that's gone over the line for a throw, and the linesman agrees with them. Will be an Alfreton throw, much to the disagreement of the visitors. But Alfreton will have themselves a throw inside their own half, which Adam Lund will look to send down the line. As we're hearing some noise behind the goal for the first time this afternoon from those Alfreton supporters. I think they know how big this fixture could be this afternoon and what it could mean for the rest of the season. Adam Lund's throw is cleared, but Nathan Newell manages to see that one out for another throw about 15 yards further forward than the initial one. Not quite far forward enough for Solodemi and Hunt to make their way forward into the box, though. Jake Day is still in there, though, and it will make its way into the box. It's flicked on, and Francis furthers the header. Not too far wide of the post, and it's another opportunity for Alfreton in the early stages. That throw from Adam Lund causing problems already. Flicked on by Jake Day, and Francis just kind of peeled around the back of the defence, got a header in, but unable to direct that one on target. Oxford City take the goal kick short to Ezanolim, looks to go down the line. Max Hunt comes across to try and intervene. Matteson does as well. Manages to clear it off of a green shirt and out for an Alfreton throw. But it's we keep cutting out apparently, which isn't good.
It might be the... Hang on, let me just turn the capture input up. It's because it's windy, I think. I've turned it down. I don't know whether that's affecting the microphones at all.
Possibly. Yeah, it was very windy ahead of the game, so we looked to adjust the levels just so you wouldn't hear constant muffling. But that might have caused a few problems. Hopefully we can fix that.
It's either that or the connection, because it has been dropping out a couple of times before we went live.
Oh, fingers crossed we can manage that, as Oxford City have themselves a throw on the right-hand side, not too far from the corner flag. Taken infield to Parker, gives it back to Drew. Eventually, Solodemi comes across, tries to lash that clearance away, but still with the visitors. Ashby works its way back to Burley, nicks it infield to McEachran. Plays a 1-2 with Jones, turns on it, beats the press of Jake Day. Knocks back to Ashby. Oxford look to advance out of their half down the line. George Cantrell opts to just knock that one out of play for a throw. The long ball aimed at Jaden Carbon, cleared away by Cantrell. A left-footed clearance about 2 yards from the corner flag, and Oxford City will have themselves an opportunity now. We're seeing centre-half Jalen Jones head forward inside the area. So would indicate that they're going to look to cause some problems from this throw-in as well and go direct. And into the box it goes towards Jones. Goes beyond him though, it's headed by Hunt, not necessarily away, and Oxford City managed to get the shot away in the end, and it's into the back of the net. And the visitors have the lead. Comes off of the throw-in, and I think it's McEachran that gets it in the end. Bounces to the number 10 inside the area. The header was won initially by Max Hunt, but he didn't quite clear it away. It just went back into a dangerous area, nodded back into the centre of the 6-yard box, into that ground where Robson was firmly on his line. But McEachran, quickest to react, manages to sort of get a shot away after the initial one was blocked. And it goes between the legs of Robson into the back of the net. And Oxford City have themselves the lead. And Alfreton Town now, things are looking bleak. They're going to have to react to that opener from the number 10 for the visitors. But 10 minutes in, this is not the way that Alfreton would have wanted to start the afternoon, that's for sure.
Yeah, once again, it's a ball not dealt with into the box. How many times now have we watched the ball kind of come into that 18-yard area, and it's just bouncing and no one seems to deal with it, no one seems to get rid of it, and then eventually a shot gets turned towards goal and ends up in the back of the net, and it's to the point now where you've got to look at something has to give, because the amount of times we're sinking goals that just aren't good enough, they're not dealt with, no one dealing with the balls into the area. It's really, really costing us now.
Yeah, you'll have to bear with me. I'm trying to fix my input, apparently, because we're getting half sentences go through. Let me...
I think it's either to do with the wind or with the internet, I think. I don't know whether there's...
Yeah, we may not be able to...
much we can do about it. I'll try raising the volume again, but I'm afraid of the wind.
Yeah. Well, Oxford City, in the midst of that, look to come forward themselves to add a second. It's Carbon on the right-hand side. Looking to go infield to McEachran. Second attempt at a cross is closed down by Solademi. And out for a throw for Oxford. We're going to see Jake Day come back to defend this one. I'm going to see if I can...
It was on.
Do
I just turned it off and on again.
Oxford City's throw into the area. This time Max Hunt does deal with it. Headed away. Out for another throw though. Aaron Drew set to take this one once again. Caused problems from the one a couple of minutes ago that led to the opener. He'll be looking to replicate that. And it goes once again. Flicked on by Jones at the front post, but Robson able to claim that one that time. I'm going to try and listen to the stream.
How is it?
I think it sounds all right. I don't know if that's after we've done anything, but hopefully we are loud and clear now. As Alfreton look to come forward themselves, Liam Waldock goes down under the challenge from McEachran, but in doing so does that classic footballer thing where they go down to win the foul and grab the ball to force the referee to make a decision, but the official gives the free kick for handball on Liam Waldock in the end. Would have been a soft free kick to give the way of Alfreton, to be fair, so Oxford rightly awarded that decision. The clearance works its way back to David Robson. Bubbles up from in the box and has to react and clear that one away. Up towards Day, it's flicked on well, but Francis can't quite latch onto it. Jacob Roddy looks to get Oxford City out of trouble. Jones goes direct. Matteson heads away. Ball still inside the Alfreton half, and a free kick does go the way of the Reds. In the middle there is Cantrell. Battled Josh Ashby for that one. The referee thinks the Oxford player was slightly too physical in that interaction. So Alfreton will have a free kick. Max Hunt thought about taking that one, but is instructed to relieve the duties, let Robson take it, and Hunt can be an aerial threat in that front line. Osborne finds himself in space on the left-hand side as well. The free kick is sent forward by Robson. Over towards Osborne, headed away by Josh Parker. Back into the area though. Jake Day looks to get onto the end of it. Tries the left-footed shot and it's just wide of the far post, and that was a real opportunity for the Reds to get back on level terms. Jake Day sees the ball drop for him inside the area. Tries that shot on his weak foot and drags it just wide of the far post. Laurie Walker looked beaten, but it's just wide. Not far away at all. Alfreton Town still find themselves a goal behind. And apparently, we're better on the sound side of things, which is a positive. Probably the only positive that you can take from this afternoon so far. Walker goes long from his goal kick, headed away by Lund on the halfway line. Cantrell gets onto that one as well, and Oxford City knocked that one out for an Alfreton throw, just inside their half. Adam Lund comes on over to take it. Max Hunt asks the question if he should go long. Adam Lund gives him the nod. Solademi stays back though. Hunt makes his way to that corner of the box. Forward comes the throw-in. Flicked on by Day. Away by Ezenolim. Back out to Lund, though. Just puts it back into a dangerous area. Oxford have no problem dealing with that one, though. Cleared away. All the way up to Solidemi. Tries to hook his clearance back down the line on his left foot. But it goes straight out of play. Alfreton players not too pleased with that one.
Billy trying a new tactic. He was squatting. Now he's up again.
Max Hunt clearing up towards Jake Day. Brings it down on his chest. Laid off for Newell. Tries to play over the top for Francis. Ezenolim, though, improvises to intercept. Will drop for Osborne, though. Can't quite sort his feet out in time. And Oxford clear their lines momentarily. Newell looks to knock it back into a dangerous area, but Ashby sends that one forward. And he was looking for Jaden Carbon, who'd actually beaten the offside trap. But Robson, quick off his line to clear away. Drew inside to goal scorer McEachran. Switched out to the left-hand side. Clipped infield. Looking for Carbon. Solidemi manages to just about get his body between the man and the ball. And eventually Robson off his line to claim that one, but another chance. Oxford City had to get a shot away there. Number 22, Jaden Carbon, found his way into the box onside in plenty of space, but the ball just quite didn't drop for him. And Solidemi was able to recover and keep the score at 1-0. Matteson gets the ball off Robson and looks to go down the line towards Francis. Manages to get in front of Ezenolim. Ball in the corner now, and I think he's won a corner. The Oxford City players disagree with the linesman there, and to be fair, from up here it looked like that was either going to be an Alfreton free kick or a goal kick, and neither of those is the outcome. It's an Alfreton corner.
Yeah, well, he's got a better view than us, doesn't he, the linesman down there? But
very true.
I think Francis has done really well, to be fair, the way he used his kind of body to get round his man, get his body in between the man and the ball, hold it up, nearly fought his way out the corner, but ends up winning corner for his troubles.
Sam Osborne heads on over to take this one on his right foot. Only Nathan Newell back for the Reds. Whips in towards Waldock, who had space near the edge of the box. Couldn't quite get it under control, though. Knocks it back out wide for Osborne, whose delivery is blocked and bounces out for another corner. So we'll have another crack at it. I was going to say something a little bit different from that corner. Waldock sort of drifted into some space, found himself unmarked, and if he could have got that one under control a little bit quicker from that Osborne delivery, perhaps could have gotten a shot away. But Osborne is going to have another attempt to deliver this ball into the box. Right-footed, floated towards the front post, and it bounces just wide. Cantrell was diving in there to try and divert a header goalwards, but eventually the ball ends up behind the net, out for an Oxford City goal kick.
It isn't half cold.
It is a chilly one today. It is a chilly one. After we had a week or so of some nice sunny weather, that was too much to ask in the British March month, and we are now back to windy, grey clouds and chilly afternoons. Walker prepares this goal kick on the right-hand side of his 6-yard box. The Oxford players make their way over to the right-hand side of the pitch. Forward it comes from Walker. Headed away by Alfreton, up towards Day. And that's going to be knocked out for a throw-in for the Reds. Adam Lund comes on over to take this one. A game so far where we've seen throw-ins cause problems for both sides. Alfreton so much so drove them to concede, but they'll be looking to get back on level terms here. Adam Lund launched into the box towards the front post, flicked on by Hunt towards the back post, but McEachran does well to clear. Comes back to Matteson, recycles back to Robson inside his own half, gives it back to Matteson under a bit of pressure here from McEachran, but it's a good ball down the line towards Sam Osborne. Gets there ahead of his man, cuts back inside. It's a great turn from Osborne into the area now. Can't get his cross into the goal mouth though, but he recovers to maintain possession and then wins the corner. Really good work from Sam Osborne on that right flank. Yeah, eventually wins another corner for Alfreton.
Initial work from Sam there was really good. You know, the way he beat his man coming on the inside. He just took one touch too many for me. He tried to get to the byline so he could cut it back. I would have liked to have seen him just float it in first time, kind of once he found himself in that space. I think he did a little bit too much, and that resulted in him nearly losing the ball.
Well, he does have the chance to float in this corner. It's away by Walker at the front post, headed back in by Lund, flicked on by Day. Away on the line, Cantrell gets a header in. Walker saves, but eventually the referee's whistle does go. A judge that Alfreton have committed a foul on the number 29, Aaron Drew. In the midst of that, he blocked a shot that looked goal-bound. And then eventually, the Cantrell header saved by Walker, so Alfreton failed to score, but nonetheless a free kick is awarded to the visitors. But yeah, Sam Osborne, if we want to highlight his work on that right-hand side, did really well to beat his man. He was up against Jacob Roddy. He had to beat him to the ball initially as well, because Mattison's ball down the line made him run for it, and he did get there.
Yeah, he was under a bit of pressure, Mattison. He just kind of... It didn't look like he looked. It looks like he just thought, oh, hit the channel. And luckily, Osborne was making that run.
Walker takes this goal kick up towards Parker, challenged by Solademi. Referee has full view of that. Awards no foul. Robson clears up towards Day. Does his best to flick it on. Cantrell the same. Away, only as far as Newell, though, headed back forwards towards the Oxford back line. Jones beats into that header, though. Comes back through for Solademi, whose clearance is closed down and blocked. And Carbon comes away with the ball, rewarded for his pressure. Laid out wide to Aaron Drew, whose cross is blocked, and Solademi eventually hacks that one clear, atones for his slight error. And Oxford will have themselves a throw on the right-hand side, sort of between the halfway line and the byline. Andre Burley over this one, launched into the area towards Parker, headed away by Hunt, further away by Osborne. Day battles Jones and wins the free kick there, near the halfway line. Oxford think that's soft, and I think they've got sort of fair reason to have complaints, but Jake Day found himself on the floor, battling for that ball. And the referee, no hesitation, awards that free kick, and Jalen Jones, the former Braintree Town man, might talk himself into a warning here with the referee, into a booking, in fact. It's going to be a yellow card for Jones, and I think that might be a tad harsh. I think it's his first foul of the afternoon, and it wasn't a cynical one.
I think it'll be because of the reaction. I agree. I think the foul was soft. I think it's not very often you see Jake Day go down easy, but he went down very easily there to get that foul. I think it's probably to do with the reaction. He must have said something, you know, in protest, and the referee's not liked it. Put him in the book.
Oh, Robson will deliver this free kick from the halfway line. It's drilled sort of towards the run of Francis, but all the Alfreton men were at the back post, so not the ideal delivery from the Rochdale loanee, and he will get the ball back, resultant of that clearance. Strides just outside of his box before going direct towards Jake Day. On the right-hand side, beats Roddy to the ball, but in doing so surrenders possession in the form of a throw-in for Oxford. Inside their own half, just in front of the Alfreton dugout, as an Olim set to launch this one down the line once again. 25 minutes gone. Alfreton still find themselves a goal behind, courtesy of that McEachran opener. Not just City, I mean, a side that are also battling for their lives in this division. Alfreton, a team that don't want to get sucked into that battle, but should this result stay the way it is today, you can't help but think that's going to be the case, and Alfreton are going to have to start changing things up, because they will be sucked into that relegation battle if they're not too careful. And Solademi looks to come across to Osborne. His touch just about gets away from him, though, and Burley, clipped by Osborne, wins that free kick just outside the box. And Oxford will have an opportunity to relieve that little bit of pressure from the Reds. Walker strides forward outside of his area in preparation for this free kick. Just to the right of the sort of centre on the edge of the D. Free kick will go long towards Parker. He seems to be the target from these long balls, and Does drop for Drew. Try to knock that one out to the left-hand side. Caught Roddy off guard, though. Runs straight out for an Alfreton throw. I think Matteson prepares to take this one on the far side from our point of view. Runs in front of the visiting dugout. Header is won by Oxford City, but Adam Lund looks to hook it back forward towards Francis. Cantrell gets it under control. Goes back to Adam Lund, hooked over to Jake Day, who found himself in space on the right-hand side, but in a little too much space. He was behind the defensive line, he was offside. Oxford City are going to have a free kick for that one. Interesting little run from Day, though. Vacating his usual sort of vicinity through the middle, shifting out to the right-hand side, swapping momentarily with Francis, and got into a good area. And if he was just a sort of fraction further backwards, that would have been a nice move. But the linesman's flag is raised against the number 9. And Oxford City send that free kick long towards Parker, headed away by Solidemi, though, brought down by Waldock. Shifted over to Nathan Newell, who's got a little bit of space on the left-hand side. He's closed down quickly, though, by Aaron Drew. Nathan Newell, the best he can do is knock it off with the Oxford man, win a throw-in inside his own half. Adam Lund's going to come on over to take this one.
No options there for Newell, just so isolated, and the movement off the ball hasn't quite been what you'd expect. It looks a bit lazy at times.
Well, Adam Lund's throw down the line, aimed at Day, did win the flick on. Tries to win the header again. Nathan Newell makes sure he left that one for him. His clearance away by Oxford, but forward again by Lund. Jones contests his own man for it. And I think Francis, the man there, adjudged to have been offside, but he's saying that he didn't interfere and that he left the ball. And Oxford City are going to have themselves a free kick for that. I think Francis is probably right to have a few complaints about that one, because I don't think he affected the play there. But nonetheless, Oxford City have themselves a free kick outside their own box. Laurie Walker prepares to take this one. Thinks it's going to be, looks like it's going to be a diagonal one over towards that number 14, Josh Parker, but it does go central. Bounces into the area towards Parker. Solidemi has to improvise and kind of fling his body in front of the ball to head that one away. And Alfreton Town look to come forward themselves now. Waldock laid off for Cantrell. Across to Nathan Newell, looks to send this one into a dangerous area towards Jake Day. Jalen Jones heads that one away. And Tom Scott clears that one away, and in the process takes a little nick from an Alfreton player, and the referee, again, no hesitation to award that free kick. Looks like we're not going to see all that much football today.
Yeah, it's a poor decision there for the referee, because Cantrell is going in, he's raised his leg, and if he commits to that challenge, yeah, it's definitely a foul, but he doesn't. He takes his leg down, he tries to move out the player's way, and the player actually takes a step into the path of Cantrell and takes that hit and spins around a bit, makes a big song and dance of it, and then the referee awards the free kick. And you know, I'm not one to come out and criticise the referees every week. It's not something I like to do because I know how hard it is, but he's been very, very stop-start. He's given a lot of soft things, and when you set that precedent, you create a game of football that's not going to be very entertaining to watch.
Alfreton looks to get the ball into some forward territory on the right-hand side, and it will drop for Liam Waldock. Tries to get the cross in, but it's stopped by Ezen Olim, who clears. Max Hunt beats Parker to that header, but it's nodded out for a throw for the visitors. Billy Heath waiting with the ball at his feet for an Oxford player to come across, as he has some choice words for the fourth official, I'm sure. And the fourth official eventually hands the ball over to Cheers and Olim. Prepares this throw down the line on that left-hand side towards Parker, headed away by Hunt. Jake Day tries to bring that one down on his thigh. Pressured by the back line, though, and eventually Oxford City recycle it back with Walker. Across to Drew, but Nathan Newell beats him to that one. Osborne, though, it's a sloppy touch from the winger. And the visitors look to come across down the right-hand side. The cross into the area was towards Adam Lund, who cleared it away. And Solidemi battles well to win that one back. Carries it himself, tries to find Jake Day, but Jones is there to intervene and clears that one away. Osborne does well to bring it down, but his clearance is short. Nathan Newell looks to help him out. Over towards Day. Jones again, that physical presence at the back for the away side, wins that header. Down the line towards Carbon. Inside to Parker. Hunt comes across to put the challenge in. Nathan Newell with a short pass towards Osborne. Alfreton Town just can't seem to string a couple of passes together at the moment. Burley down the line towards McEachran, and that one's heavy and out for a goal kick. Solidemi happy to see that one out. It's bounced behind the stand. Going to have to be chucked back over by a supporter. There we go. Be a really, really poor spell for Alfreton there. Just couldn't seem to make anything stick. Constant barrage from Oxford City players. Eventually ended with an Alfreton goal kick, but they'll be looking to play a little bit more football on the floor after that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not even the bad passes, it's the poor decision making as well. It's probably, dare I say, one of the worst halves of football I've watched us ever play.
Although that was a nice move from the Reds, and Mattison comes forward himself, tries to get into a shooting position. Cantrell recovers it, tries to let it back to Waldock. We saw a nice little triangle just then between Waldock, Cantrell and Adam Lund. And the cross from Hunt headed away. Headed back into the area though by Hunt. Away by Oxford City once again. And that time it's Jaden Carbon drawing the foul from Adam Lund. Referee, again, no hesitation with the whistle. Free kick to Oxford City, and we are going to see the game pause here actually as David Solidemi is sat down inside the centre circle.
Must be a new whistle.
Solidemi is going to require some treatment here. Ollie waved on.
God, I'm so close.
I was going to say, I thought there might be a change of shirt there for Jaden Carbon. Don't know if he had some blood on it or something, but no, he's just removing his base layer.
Nutter. One absolute nutter. I am absolutely frozen. I have to run on the spot, get some blood flowing.
Well, in this little brief pause, Alfreton have the chance to have a quick little tactical discussion, and I think it's a necessary one because
well needed, yeah.
Something's got to change in this game. Nothing really able to stick. There was a nice little passage of play there off the back of our comment as Robson's goal kick worked its way up to Liam Waldock. He played a nice first time pass into Luke Mattison, who found himself in space, drove forward with the ball to sort of 25 yards from goal, and then looked to sort of shift it inside, and it was there where Alfreton lost the ball. A couple of crosses came in following that, but Oxford City were able to clear their lines, win a free kick. And in the midst of that, Solidemi still receiving treatment. We are also seeing Dwayne Wiley stripped and ready to come on. I think there is going to be the substitution here. Solidemi walking off with a bit of a limp, not putting much weight on that left leg, but it will be the experienced head of Dwayne Wiley to come in on the left-hand side of that defence. Perhaps something that could be necessary.
Yeah,
I mean, the Reds.
When we say there was a nice little passage of play after we've spoken about how bad it's been this half, I think that's what's so frustrating about this run of form, because these are the same players, a lot of them are the same players that achieved the playoffs last year, and I think the players we've added have strengthened them. I think the players that we've brought in are better than the players we've had. The only real loss from last season is that we don't have Jordan Thewlis this season. But we know how talented they are, we know what they can do, you know. They've all got ability, and to see it just not come together, it's so frustrating to watch, and it can be hard at times to see things. Nothing just seems to be going our way, but we know they've got it as well. Like that little passage, it shows that we've got a bit, but it's just not falling in place.
Well, as we talk you through that, we do see the first substitution of the afternoon as Dwayne Wiley comes in place of the injured David Solidemi. Hopefully nothing too serious for the young man. Mattison looks to throw that one down the line. The Oxford City free kick didn't result in anything other than an Alfreton throw. But the ball back with Oxford City now. Laid out wide by Tom Scott to McEachran. Inside to Parker. Brings it infield, lays it across to Burley, who's got space. The right back, who's inverted. Looks to lay it across to Aaron Drew as a low cross. Away by Cantrell at the near post. Towards Osborne, tries to play his way out of trouble. Laid back to Newell. Sent direct. Gives Jake Day a ball to chase. It's won by Jones. Baldock tries to challenge McEachran for that one. McEachran, though, waits a nice ball down the line. Dwayne Wiley his first impact on the game is moving his man out of the way to shepherd that one out for a goal kick. I think he'll be happy with that as an introduction to the fixture. Robson prepares this goal kick. Jake Day in that position behind the back line. He will go long towards Day, headed away by an Oxford player. He's going to bounce out for an Alfreton throw. Nathan Newell did catch that one, but I think we know who he's going to leave the duties to there. Max Hunt heads forward. Wiley stays back. Not quite far forward enough for both the centre-halves to make their way into the box, but Adam Lund will launch it that way anyway. Towards Hunt, who wins the header. Dropped into a nice area as well, but Oxford City positioned efficiently to clear their lines. Eventually back into the box as well, and Max Hunt tried to sort of flick that one round the corner. But Oxford City clear their lines once again. Walker's long throw, knocked away by Wiley. Out for a throw for the visitors near the halfway line. And if you are just joining us after 36 minutes, Oxford City do have a 1-goal lead here at the Impact. Zach McEachran with the opener. And that's how it stayed since that 10th minute goal. Oxford's throw down the line, somewhat dealt with by the Reds. Cantrell tries to head this one forward, away by Jones again. Further away by Drew, up towards Carbon. Cantrell steps in though. Nathan Newell looks to hook this one round the corner. Jake Day, if he's kept himself on side here, he has. Oh, and then he looks to turn it around the corner to Sam Osborne, who wasn't on the same wavelength. He made the run towards the left. I think Jake Day thought he was on the inside, and he tried that little reverse pass. Eventually doesn't come off for him though. Simple one for Walker to claim, but it's a good bit of movement from Jake Day to sort of get in behind the defence and keep himself on side. But nothing comes at the end of it. Walker, his clearance is poor. Francis deals with that one, and Ezen Olim absolutely lashes that one into the stands between the dugouts, and will have themselves a throw-in in perfect position for Adam Lund to have a quick catch-up with the coaching staff by the dugout. Again, though, we see Wiley stay back alongside Nathan Newell. Adam Lund strides forward, launches this one into the front post towards Day, flicked on, I think by an Oxford City player, but Walker comes well off his line and does well to rise and claim that one. Would differentiate him as the man in green, but Oxford City are in something of a green as well, so that wouldn't be much help. Slightly different shade though, I suppose.
It's a luminous yellow.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it. Walker does go long looking for Parker. Alfreton head that one away, but Osborne unable to get it under control. It's back down the line in search of Carbon, and Nathan Newell, I think he might have just knocked that one out himself for a corner, and he has. Oxford City going to have a chance to keep the pressure on from this set piece, and Newell just looked to shepherd that one out for a goal kick, but he couldn't quite do so. Knocked it out himself for a corner. Billy Heath verbally unhappy with that one from the touchline. We could hear that from up here, so I'm sure the players will be able to notice his displeasure on that one. Oxford City prepare the corner. It'll be the captain Ashby to deliver. We've seen him take the ones earlier as well on that right foot. McEachran is short to provide that passing option. Josh Parker and George Cantrell a bit too handsy with each other on the goal line for the referee's liking. He's going to pull both of them for a chat, and I think he's just saying to them, you can hold each other, but don't be too firm. Play the ball. And we may now finally see the corner. McEachran has been sent into the area to stand right in front of David Robson to make it hard for him to claim this one. Jones forward as well for Oxford City. The big aerial threat. And it comes from the captain towards the back post. Jones beaten to it by Hunt. And the shot does come in from the edge. McEachran tries a little clever flick to keep it alive, but Alfreton unable to clear their lines. And Aaron Drew happy to see that one roll out for an Oxford City throw inside their own half. Thought the ball had made its way into the stands then, as Drew was just sort of stood on the touchline without a ball, but he's got it now.
down the line towards Parker, headed away by Wiley. Adam Lund beats McEachran to it. Waldock on the ground, still battling for it. McEachran comes away with it though. Laid across to Roddy, who's got plenty of space. Tries that left-footed cross. It's away by Wiley. And further cleared by Francis, who had time there. Probably could have brought that one down. He had a bit of space. Surrenders possession immediately though to Oxford. Burley across to Jones. All the way to Ezinolim on the left. Drives forward, cuts inside beyond Francis, the left back. Laid across to Roddy. And it's a deep cross. Too deep for anyone to get onto though. Straight out for an Alfreton goal kick after it evaded the heads of all the green shirts and all the red shirts inside the box.
Nearly didn't evade the birds though, in the sky.
Well, 5 minutes to go before we see the added time in this first half. Alfreton Town not going to be happy with the way things have gone. I'm sure Billy's going to have some words to say at half-time in that dressing room as he looks to change things around. But Robson takes this goal kick short on his weak foot to Matteson, and his ball down the line is blocked by McEachran and eventually works his way back to Robson, who's going to have another crack at distributing this one. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say, worth mentioning during half-time, while Billy's giving them all a telling off, you can stay tuned.
We'll have a fun little
for
quiz.
15 minutes. We've got a fun little quiz you can join in on over half-time, a true or false quiz. So stay tuned in for some half-time entertainment.
Alfreton look to keep the ball alive inside the box. It's with Waldock flicked up into what looked like the arm of an Oxford City man, and I think the referees,
any chance?
the referees have judged that to be ball to hand inside the area, but the Alfreton fans are behind the goal as well as the players screaming for that one.
It's small man syndrome. The referee's a little man and he won't give us anything because he heard me taking the mick out of him before kick-off.
Well,
the referees are warming up in front of us and I went, look how short the ref is, and now he's giving us nothing.
Well, Liam Waldock in disagreement with that decision, that's for sure, as he flicked the ball up into the arm of the Oxford City player. It definitely hit the player's arm, but it's just a matter of, was the Oxford City man too close to it to have moved it out the way in time? But I think that's a bit 50-50.
He stopped it with his hand in the box.
David Robson clears this one down the line towards Francis, tries to knock it back for Lund, but it's McEachran that gets onto it. Across to Drew, who's in space. Knocked down the line for Carbon, tries to get beyond Wiley and does. Right-footed cross into the centre, away by Hunt. Osborne keeps it in play, and he's got time and space to drive forward now. Opts to cut inside, gets beyond McEachran, who was just happy to let him stroll on by. And across to the right-hand side for Francis. Good work from Osborne once again. And it is Akil Francis now on that right-hand side. Looks to cut in, then back out. Right-footed cross, blocked. And out for a corner. Alfreton Town came forward pretty well there on the break. Win themselves a corner. It's going to be Osborne to take it, I think, as he makes his way over. And Alfreton now do have a chance to get back on level terms just before the break. We haven't seen the added time go up just yet. I imagine that will come in the next few minutes. But this would be an ideal time to score, change the visitors' team talk, as well as the Alfreton one. But Osborne prepares to deliver this one. It's only Nathan Newell who stays back by the centre circle. Sam Osborne, in it comes, floated towards the back post, towards Adam London, his header. Unable to direct it goalwards. He was challenged by Ezinolim, and eventually the fullback able to do enough to see that one out for a goal kick. As Adam Lund's header off target.
I just want to celebrate a goal. It's been so long.
When Laurie Walker is going to be more than content with the result of that corner, out for a goal kick. Prepared to take it on the right-hand side of his 6-yard box. Forward it comes towards Josh Parker. Bounces through for Max Hunt. Cleared up front towards Jake Day. Jones clears that one with his head. Adam Lund puts it back into that dangerous area, but Ezinolim's clearance.
Oh, that's a bucket.
In towards McEachran, and Matteson goes in to try and win the ball, and it's going to be easiest booking of the referee's life for Luke Matteson. It's a firm challenge. McEachran beat him to the ball, and he went in sliding.
3 minutes.
Didn't win the football, and a pretty textbook yellow card for the referee to award there for Luke Matteson, and we will have 3 minutes of additional time in this first half period And as things stand, Oxford City are going to be going into the break with that lead. Something that Ross Jenkins, the visitors manager, will be very happy with, you'd imagine, after coming away from a 7-0 defeat at home to Buxton. They've travelled up to Derbyshire the weekend after and find themselves a goal ahead against a team that you can probably pretty safely consider are kind of in that mix with them in the bottom half of the table. That free kick straight out for an Alfreton goal kick for Robson to take. Takes it from the sort of centre of his 6-yard box.
Yeah, that looks like a peat bog.
Up forward, flicked on by Waldock. Osborne tries to do the same, but Ezenolim clears. Over towards Adam Lundu. Jumps for that one, and McEachran upends him. Kind of does that thing where he's made it look like he's contesting for the header, but he's just getting in the way of Adam Lundu's taken a pretty hefty hit as he's landed on the ground. We might see Ollie waved back on. He's up to his feet, but I think Adam Lund might have just told the referee, I'm okay, just give you a minute.
Knock the wind out of him.
I was going to say, you also, you don't want the clock to be run down here during the injury time period. Adam Lund is back to his feet. I think he might be a little bit dazed. He really did hit the ground quite heavily there. But Nathan Newell and Sam Osborne both stand over this free kick. Alfreton send everybody else forward outside of David Robson. But it will be the right foot of Osborne to deliver towards the back post. It's away by Jones. Not the first time I've said that this afternoon. Newell prods it out wide to Osborne, who tries to send that one back into the box first time. Max Hunt does win the header, but it's away by Scott. Forward again by Matteson. Away by Jones. Hunt tries to beat him to that one, and eventually Tom Scott puts an end to that Alfreton pressure. Clears it well upfield, and Dwayne Wiley's headed clearance only out for an Oxford City throw. Inside the Alfreton half just about. And I think that may well be the final spell of possession in this first half. And if it is to be that way, Alfreton are going to have to come out fighting for the second 45. They're going to have it all to do. As an Olim's throw down the line, cleared away by Hunt, hooked further away by Cantrill. Jake Day tries to bring that one down. As an Olim clears once again. Out to Newell on the left-hand side. Wants Osborne to drop in, and he does. Receives that one laid back to Robson. Gets his clearance all wrong though. He's taken a bobble before the clearance. Max Hunt comes across to prod that one away from Zach McEachran, but Robson, I think he's been dealt a bit of a harsh card by the...
Go on, he's checking his watch, blow the whistle.
Been dealt a bit of a harsh card by the unfavoured sort of turf inside the box as it bobbled up right before he looked to clear it. Shears and Olim comes on over to take the ball off of Roddy for the throw-in. We've seen that he's got the sort of longer throw out of the two left-hand-sided players. And you'd imagine this one's going to go into the box towards Josh Parker or Jones. It's headed by Wiley, not necessarily away, but Jake Day does get that clearance in and headed back into play by the Oxford City staff man. But there is the half-time whistle. Alfreton Town.
Quiz time.
A goal behind at the break. Zach McEachran with that early opener for Oxford City, and that's how it stayed. But Alfreton Town now really need to come out in the second half and change things up a little bit. But yeah, I'll let you introduce our new half-time
show. I'm feeling I've got to get my hands out for this because look at the state of them. I'm so cold. But we have a new half-time quiz. How exciting is that?
I'm excited.
So I have prepared 10 true or false questions, football-related questions. From this is how I spent my evening last night, scratching the back of my brain for a couple of facts and making up a few as well.
Okay.
For true or false. Feel free to join in as well, Quentin, if you want to weigh into a couple of the true or false questions, and whack it in the chat. True,
yeah, you can join
you think it's true or false.
The beauty of doing it on YouTube, I suppose.
Yeah, that is the benefit. So hang on, let me get my questions up. Take a step back, no peeking. No cheating. This is how we're going to do. So we've got the true or false questions. 50-50 chance of getting it right. So in theory, you should get at least 5 statistically. So our first true or false question is they're just statements. You got to let me know whether you think they're true or false. The first one: Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't scored in a World Cup knockout match.
I'm fairly sure that is true. Because I think I remember people going on about it. I think he scored in a penalty shootout or something, but I don't think he scored an open play goal.
So we're both going for true?
Yes.
Well, let us know what you think in the chat. Get your answers in, whether you think it's true or false. And I'll give it a second. I imagine there's a bit of delay, so I'll bring out the answer because we'll be waiting 15 minutes to find out everyone's answers. But that is, in fact, true. You're both right. That's a point each. On the board. Oh, the second question. 24 teams competed in the inaugural Premier League season. True or false?
Premier League is in 1992 Premier League? Or?
Yeah, inaugural Premier League season.
I don't think that's true. I'm going to go false.
We've both gone for false. You're both correct.
Yes.
It is false. The answer is it was 22 teams in the inaugural Premier League season. I added 2 on, like a little mischievous man.
Sneaky man.
Try and catch you out. Right, number 3. Uruguay won the first ever World Cup.
My initial inkling is that that's true. I know that they won one of the early ones, but whether it was the first, I don't know. I'm going to go true.
All right, someone is taking the lead.
We've got a split.
We've got a true and we've got a false. One's gone true. Quinton's gone false. I can reveal that it was, in fact, true. Although a lot of people do discredit that World Cup because they only had 3 teams in the group.
Oh, right.
Because France dropped out of that World Cup in, I think it was 1934, off the top of my head.
Well, I don't mind. I got the answer right.
Yeah. So number 4. Now, this is one I'm certain, a little story. Could be made up story.
Okay.
But it could be a true story that you might not have heard of. Former Sunderland midfielder Stefan Schwarz had a clause inserted into his contract that prevented him from travelling to space.
I think it's true.
It's got to be too made up for that.
Yeah, I think there's too much effort gone into that to be made up. I think that's true.
You don't think I've got that in my locker?
No, I think that's true.
To come up with. That is true.
Oh, we're 4 for 4.
So, Vaughan 3, Quinton 4. Next one.
That's the other way around, mate.
Sorry, the other way. Yeah, sorry, the other way around. Got my scores wrong. Credit
the competition.
Who's this quiz master?
This is number 5, isn't it?
Yes.
Valencia manager Carlos Corberán once stated in an interview that his dog is named Mikel, inspired by Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta.
I think that's true. I think I've heard that before.
Off the basis of that, I'm going to say it's true.
It's corruption.
Yeah, you've got to play the game. I think it's true.
Well, he's chatting a load of rubbish because it's false.
Oh, no.
He's never heard him say that.
Is he the West Brom manager?
Yeah.
Yeah. Quinton's gone, I think I've heard him say that actually. Yeah, it's false.
I was convinced by that.
Completely made up.
Yeah, completely made up. Made that off the top of my head, off the rack. So that is, Ron's now got a question wrong.
Did you know Arteta?
I have no idea. It's completely made up.
I've lost a perfect record.
Number 6. Werder Bremen won the first ever Bundesliga title.
Sure. Yeah. I'll say it's true.
I need to catch up, so false. Or I'm going to go further behind.
That was a good decision because it's false.
No!
The first ever Bundesliga was actually won by Köln. Werder Bremen won the first ever German league in 19...
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. That was, yeah,
in
definitely.
1909, Werder Bremen won the first ever German league, but it wasn't called the Bundesliga until 63-64.
There you go.
In which Köln won the first one. So that ties up the scores at 4-all. On to the 7th question. In 2016, Lionel Messi retired from international football.
Yes, because I think it was after the Copa America when they lost. I think that's true. Obviously, he then came out of retirement, but I think it's true.
I'm going to go true as well.
It is true. It's a bit of a trick question, because obviously it's false. He just won the World Cup. He famously retired, and then a month later, unretired himself and went, actually, I'm sorry, I was just being a big baby because we lost. So that brings it up to 5-all. Going on to question 8. Manager Andre Villas-Boas stated he would only join Shanghai Football Club when he went there as manager in 2016 if his contract had a clause in it that would provide him a mini fridge filled with Coca-Cola?
That is so 50-50. I am going to go false purely because the last one was true. I've got nothing else to go on. I'm going to go false.
I'm going true. That's what I would want in my contract.
It's false.
Oh, thank God.
So Vaughan retakes the lead
Get
right
in
at the
there.
end. He's up 6. He's 6-5. He's up by 1. I just made that up again.
The creative mind.
Creative mind of Matty Cottrell.
You're busy night last night.
Yeah. So what can I do? Oh, Andrew Villas-Boas. Who's he managed? That's where I went with that. So number 9. Clarence Seedorf is the only player to win the Champions League with 3 different clubs.
Ooh. I don't know. I feel like there'd be a more popular answer if that was true. Oh, but
But he might not be the only player.
Yeah, he might not be the only one. The wording might catch me out. I'm going to say false.
So I don't know how many other players will have won it 3 times.
Yeah, this is what
3 times or 3 different clubs.
He's won it with 3 different clubs, so he's won it 3 times
Who's
with
played-
different
How
clubs.
many players have played that?
I don't know. Yeah,
I'm going to go true.
I'll stick to my answer and say false. So we go different.
Well, it's all tied up. No. Going into the final question, because it is true, he won it with Ajax, Real Madrid, and AC Milan.
Wow.
He's the only player
Yeah.
to win it with 3 different football clubs.
Yeah.
One of the only players that's played that high level for
So many
long.
clubs.
so many clubs.
But he's the only one to win it with all 3 of those clubs, which makes the scores 6-6.
Wow.
Going in to the final question. Will it be true or will it be false? Will someone win?
Is it a made up story?
Or will it? David Beckham
Okay.
took ballet lessons while at Manchester United in order to improve his agility.
I don't remember it in the Netflix documentary, so I'm going to say false.
And for the benefit of the competition, I'm going to say true.
Quentin's gambled.
I think they used to do something like yoga or...
Yeah, it wouldn't like entirely surprise me, but my heart said false. So
Well, at the death of the competition, 6-6 between the two of you. One says true, one says false for the final question of the quiz. I can now reveal that David Beckham did, in fact, not take ballet lessons while at Manchester United to improve his agility, which means Vaughan wins 7-6.
Get in there.
On the first ever
come on.
Alfreton Town live watch-along half-time quiz show.
I'm sure other people will have gotten more than 7 of those correct that are watching.
Feel free to let us know if you're playing along, how many you got out of those 10. But thought that was a little fun we could
Could do a
do
bit of fun, yeah.
during half-time. And at least we got a good little competition out of it.
We did.
You got-
We did. Down to the wire.
But yeah, that's how I spent my evening last night. Just making up stories about Andrew Villas-Boas and Carlos
Yeah.
Corberán.
Well, we'll move on from Villas-Boas's mini fridge and Carlos Corberán's imaginary dog. And we'll
He
give
might
you-
have a dog. He might be right.
He might have a dog. It just might not be called Mikel. But to make use of
I've
the
heard
other,
that before.
What I talked about.
we have a little bit of sort of dead time between now and the start of the second half. So we will use that to give you a half-time score roundup in the rest of the National League North. So obviously here at the Impact, Alfreton a goal down against Oxford City. Brackley Town 1-0 down against Buxton. Chester 1-0 up against Leamington. Curzon and Marine currently drawing 0-0. Scunthorpe 2-0 up away at Farsley Celtic. Spennymoor 2-0 up away at Kings Lynn. Chorley 1-0 up away at Needham Market. Peterborough Sports 2-1 up at home to Darlington. Southport 1-0 up away at Rushall Olympic. Scarborough 1-0 up at home to Hereford. Kidderminster Harriers 2-0 up away at South Shields, and Warrington and Radcliffe round things out, currently playing out a 0-0. So as things stand, Alfreton would drop down to 18th in the league. Oxford would remain in 20th, as Radcliffe would be the only side to separate the pair of the teams on the field today. Radcliffe, a team that obviously we beat here at the Impact this season just before Christmas, and a team that we play on the final day. So things, if they continue to sort of go down this poor run of form, you never know. It could come down to a bit of final day drama away at Radcliffe. We'd like to think not, for the ease of everybody's
Jesus
stress.
Christ.
But yeah, as things stand, the table does not make for good reading from an Alfreton perspective.
Pardon?
Need a market losing.
But the positives are that Needham Market are a goal behind against Chorley. So although it would bring us closer to Oxford City, this result obviously, the gap to the drop zone will not change if things stay as they are, because Needham Market, who occupy a 21st position, are losing. So nothing would change there. They'd stay on 33 points. Alfreton would stay on 44. So still an 11-point gap with 9 games left to play. But football is a ridiculous game and crazy things can happen. So we'll see what comes of that. But Alfreton now do take back to the pitch. The first side to do so. Max Hunt leads them out.
I tell you what, that quiz has timed it quite nicely, hasn't it?
It has.
Wasn't
Really
too much. I was a bit worried whether, I was a bit like, hopefully this will take us about 15 minutes roughly to do, because I thought, what if we're halfway through this quiz?
Players start coming back out.
Players start coming back out. We've got to scrap the scores halfway through. But no, luckily we got through it, and just enough time to go through the scores. Teams come back out.
Works out perfectly.
Everything's perfect. God, I am brilliant, aren't I? God, what a way to run it.
Yeah, big fan of the inaugural quiz.
Yeah, and as well, it just keeps people having to come in and check whether at the back yet, the team's back out. You know what I mean? It gives you something. I hope it was entertaining.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a good time, especially when I made up that story about Cal's cover.
Yeah, how have you thought of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that one actually. I was
put me
there.
off.
I actually am his dog.
Well, we will resume normality as Alfreton prepare to take kick-off in this second half. Now shooting from left to right. From our point of view, doesn't look to have been any changes at the break from either side.
Sun's out.
I was going to say the sun's back out here at the Impact. Hopefully
freezing, yeah.
A good omen for this second half. And Alfreton Town prepared to take kick-off. Sam Osborne stood over it. There is the whistle. Laid back to Max Hunt immediately. And he goes direct. Looking for Jake Day and Akil Francis. Headed away by Oxford. Back forward by Newell. Away by Jones. Not the best of headers, and Francis tries to make something of that, but Jones clears once again. Forward again by Newell. Francis furthers it on. Jake Day tries to bring it under control. A few half-hearted appeals behind the goal for an Alfreton free kick, but the referee says nothing doing on that occasion.
Referee, you big idiot, that was clearly ours.
And Oxford City will have themselves a throw on the far side to put an end to that earlier direct ball from Alfreton that caused a little bit of head tennis between the edge of the box and the halfway line. But as an Olymp looks to clear, Nathan Newell does the same. Scott looks to hook that one down the line, but that one's going to be seen out for a goal kick by Dwayne Wiley and David Robson. Happy to let that one run out. And Robson going to look to send that one long. We've seen straight away Jake Day and Osborne head to that position sort of 5 yards behind the back line, and they'll wait for the defenders to drop off themselves after the goal kick's taken and sort of hope that they're already in the advantage, sort of have the advantage from that long ball. It will go towards Day, and he will flick it on well. Looking to cause a little bit of problem. Francis giving chase. Roddy can't get the headed clearance out. Francis still with it. Tries to cross it
really
in
well
from the right-hand side, and his cross is blocked immediately, but bounces out for an Alfreton corner. Positive start to the half for the Reds. Getting a bit of territory, the sort of classic routine that we've seen from Alfreton that just hasn't stuck for so long. That long ball from the goalkeeper, Jake Day getting his head to it, causing a little problem for the defender to deal with. And Francis makes him think about it, latches onto it, and his cross is eventually blocked. Out for a corner for Osborne to take. Alfreton with that four-man love train on the edge of the box. Hunt in there along with Adam Lund. In it goes from Osborne towards Akil Francis, but Walker does well to punch that one away. Matteson gets there first, though, recycles it back out to Osborne. Crossed in, headed away by the Oxford City player, and then back in by Alfreton, who want a corner there. And the Oxford City players stayed down on the ground, and the physio's been waved on. Well, by the players, but
sandwich between Matheson and Lund.
Yeah, didn't look like a comfortable one. But Oxford City, I think the ball bounced out for a goal kick anyway. But the physio now waved on. I mean, the players waved the physio on straight away. But the referee had to wait and have a look himself before the physio was waved on.
Small man syndrome.
He is now being seen to, though. Hopefully nothing too serious for the visiting player. Adam Lund having a quick discussion with the Oxford City players over that one about how the ball was meant to be theirs, but the referee is firm in his decision that that one's going to be a goal kick unless he tries to play some sort of drop ball or something. But Walker stood over with the ball on that side for the goal kick and engaging in some pleasant conversation with the Alfreton supporters behind that goal. The Oxford City player, I think it's Aaron Drew that went down on the ground. It's the number 22, Jaden Carbon, actually, who is now sat up, which is good to see, and eventually helped to his feet.
They just got walloped, didn't he, in between London and Matheson.
Took a proper whack, and he is going to have a spell on the side of the pitch momentarily before being allowed back on. It doesn't look like the visitors have a change ready, so I think they're planning to just reintroduce Jaden Carbon into the match. And he is now walking, although I think he took a bit of a bang to the head when he hit the deck there. But the referee blows his whistle and we will restart play here with Walker. Goal kick up towards Parker, headed on by Hunt. Carbon is waved back into the action and he'll get the ball immediately. On that left-hand side, he's got McEachran in the middle, cuts inside, gets beyond Hunt, lays it off to Zach McEachran, tries the back heel through to Parker. And that looked like a nice little move, but the back heel slightly too much on it for Parker to latch onto. And David Robson off his line to claim that one. But Alfreton escaped that little.
I've got a new earlier if he drops sides as he's gone away.
Robson slices his kick a little bit. It's not going to make it out of the Alfreton half. Dwayne Wiley, though, steps in. Looks to go along himself towards Jake Day. But the flag's
He's
raised.
about 10 yards behind it.
It looked pretty offside from up here.
He has one job, stay in line with the defence.
And Jake Day is flagged to have been offside.
He was offside, like, but
Yeah.
it defeats the purpose.
Got in behind the back line. And yeah, the flag were no hesitation from the linesman. Offside given. And Oxford City will have themselves a free kick inside their own half for Walker to take.
Yeah, it was offside, but the lineman couldn't tell because he was 10 yards behind player.
I think if we could tell, he might have had not too much problem.
Well, he should do his job properly.
Walker down the left-hand side towards Roddy.
Hard.
Going to say that sounded painful, but back in field it went. Wiley eventually gets the clearance in. Burley on the right-hand side. I think he's tried to hook that one down the line, but gets that one all wrong. Out for a throw, and that's another ball lost. Sailing over the stand at the impact, and yeah, Pam's going to have her work out for her, bless her.
It's usually, to be fair, it's usually when she's just got back with one, so at least.
Adam Lund looks to send this one down the line. It makes its way up to Osborne, picked up by Jake Day. Knocks it into space that Mattison's had to latch onto. Knocks it around the corner of his man.
That is so soft.
I was going to say, I think he's drawn that foul, to put it kindly. He's knocked it beyond Roddy. He was never getting to it. So I think he's just tried his best to win something from that, and he's gone down under the challenge. And I think this referee is just giving absolutely everything.
Yeah,
I can't find a kind way to put it, really. He's given absolutely every decision.
He's having a stinker. The pass from Jake was a bit under hit, which made it really hard for Matheson to get up, and he does well to get forward and get there before the man, and he just kicks it past him, runs into him, and goes down and goes, and the referee goes, well let's give a foul here then.
The ball's out for a goal kick before Matheson even goes down, but nonetheless, Alfreton have themselves the free kick. Osborne standing over it, the two-man wall of Oxford City. It's floated in towards the back post, towards Jake Day, who gets the header in, and it's not too far away, hits the roof of the net on its way over. Jake Day threw himself into that one, ended up on the deck. Did his best to get that header on target, but it's just over the crossbar and out for a goal kick. And I think that's kind of
If that went in, the referee...
Justice done a little bit.
If that went in, the referee would have better hope none of the Oxford fans saw where he parked his car. Otherwise, he'd be in trouble.
I mean, I suppose you kind of have to compliment the consistency at this point, because we saw a couple of soft fouls given in the first half, and you mentioned that then sets the precedent for a lot of fouls being given and not much football being played, and he has stuck to that. We are seeing a lot of fouls being given, and the play sort of being broken up whenever possible. But Walker, his goal kick, aimed at Parker, cleared away by Wiley, over towards Osborne. Burley doesn't quite get the initial touch right, and eventually sends that one out for a throw. That time stays in the ground though. Look at distribution from Solly, he's still got it. Down the line for Adam Lund to take this throw in an advantageous position. Fans behind the goal chant his name. Max Hunt and Dwayne Wiley make their way forward into the box. Matteson and Cantrell on the edge. Nathan Newell, the only man back. In it comes towards the centre of the box. Max Hunt does his best to get onto it. And I think it's going to bounce out for a goal. No, out for a corner, sorry.
Hooray!
I was going to say, it was either going to be a goal kick or a corner. Both players contested it. Both sets of fans contest it, but it is out for an Alfreton corner, which Osborne heads on over to take. Another chance to deliver, put the ball into a dangerous area and cause the Oxford City defence some problems. Francis standing on the goalkeeper, and the usual suspects in the box as well. In it comes from Osborne, headed away by Jones. Matteson does his best to try and knock it back in there. Wiley hooks it over his head. McEachran brings it down and looks to play his way out of trouble, but I think he didn't know how close the touchline was to him. Dribbles it out for a throw-in. I think he knew straight away as he took that touch to take it wide that he got a little too much on it. But out for a throw-in regardless. Adam Lund with another opportunity to launch it into the box. And in it goes towards Jake Day. It's headed away by Parker at the front post. Waldock tries to bring it down and knock it back into the box, but he was off balance. Aaron Drew gets there to clear it away, but Dwayne Wiley, happy to pick that one up, goes in field to Cantrell. Not sure that was the intention, but recycled back to Newell and across to Matteson now. He's got space on the right-hand side, brings it across the halfway line into the Oxford City half. Thinks about the cross, goes inside to Waldock. Wants to give it back, and he will. 1-2, Waldock goes back to Nathan Newell. Wanted somebody short there. He's forced back to David Robson. He's not happy about it, but Alfreton keep the ball. Goes along towards Hunt. Burley beats him to it, and Max Hunt came back from an offside position for that one, so Oxford City have themselves a free kick inside their own half off the back of that. Andre Burley got there ahead of Max Hunt anyway, but obviously Hunt interfered in going for the header, so the free kick is awarded. And as that spell of possession ends, the sun goes away.
Oh,
Clouds come back.
I'm so cold.
Things look a little bit more dismal for Alfreton. Still trailing by a goal to nil in this one here at the Impact, in what we described before the match to be something of a six-pointer at the bottom end of the table. And the only positive so far is that Needham Market are losing at the break as well, so the gap between the drop zone and the Reds wouldn't change. But Alfreton obviously going to be looking to make a game of this, find a leveller. Well, Oxford City have a man on the ground and want the game stopped, but play continues. Francis battles with Ezen for this one, and eventually unable to keep it in play and out for a throw. And you get the sense that Alfreton have a little bit of momentum now. Fans behind the goal encouraged by what they've seen so far in this second half, and they're repaying the players with a bit of noise in that open stand behind the goal. Adam Lund prepares this throw-in, driven by the scarf of the young supporter. In it goes towards that front post. Jake Day and Wiley battle for it. It's going to make its way through to the back post, and Liam Waldock tried the volley, but in doing so, Andre Burley was caught as the defender tried to clear it away. Don't think Alfreton can have too many complaints with that one. Waldock took a little bit of a knock himself in the midst of that, obviously. Just a collision between the two players, no malice involved. But it will be a booking for Liam Waldock, which comes as a bit of a surprise.
Incredibly harsh. He has every right to go for the ball. If he gets there first, he might score. But he's obviously been kicked away, and his kind of foot has just come a second late after that initial tackle. But yeah, that's I'm not seeing what the ref's laying down there.
Nope. Well, Oxford City will have a free kick. I mean, the free kick itself is probably a fair decision, but Waldock, as you say, has every right to go for the ball. He's just caught his man.
What's he booking him for?
I don't know. As we said, there's no malice involved. There's no sort of intent to harm.
What's he doing now?
And the referee won't let this free kick be taken. He wants to have a word with somebody. I think it's... Is it Osborne? Is it a member on the touchline? No, Osborne and an Oxford City player being brought to speak to each other. I think the referee is actually doing his best to not let us watch any football today.
Yeah, I'm not one to slander referees. I'm very, very objective when it comes to my view. But this one is rubbish. I never really, you know what I mean? I never really go in and go, oh, sometimes I disagree, sometimes. But we always kind of see what they're laying down.
Yeah.
You know, at some point. This referee, he's just bad.
Well, Alfreton Town, in the face of the adversity, look to come forward. Waldock heads this one across to Adam Lund. Jake Day's kind of set a screen for Adam Lund there, and McEachran's put on the floor.
Move, man.
But Jake Day, with the ball in the box, laid back to Adam Lund. Tries that right-footed cross. He's closed down by Ashby.
Hits him right in his face.
That looks sore, but it's out for an Alfreton throw as they look to continue this spell of momentum. Just trying to find that equaliser. Adam Lund prepares that throw. Wiley heads forward from the back. Only Nathan Newell back in the centre circle. Every green shirt is inside the box. In it comes from Adam Lund. Max Hunt down at the front post. Matteson tries the volley. Francis tries to turn it in.
Missed it again.
At the back post, but it's can't quite get a connection on it. Straight out for another goal kick.
Who has put voodoo on Akil Francis so that when he swings his foot at the ball in the box, he just misses it altogether? He's had a fantastic game, to be fair. He's probably one of the stronger performers in this game, out on that right, battling and, winning throw-ins, winning corners, running in behind. Although, when I'm saying winning throw-ins and winning corners is playing well, you can see how bad today's gone so far. But there's something about him when he gets in that 6-yard box and he swings his leg at the ball, it just doesn't seem to connect for him. Bless him.
Well, Walker's goal kick eventually brought down by Wiley and laid off for Nathan Newell. It's headed away by Burley. Brought down by McEachran, who looks to knock that one around the corner for Josh Parker, and he will get there. The number 14 is challenged by Wiley. Great use of his body. So look to see it out for a goal kick, and just as he realised it wasn't going to roll all the way, Dwayne Wiley sort of played it off of Parker just before it goes over the line to win that goal kick. He's probably been one of the better performers as well since coming off the bench in place of the injured Solodemi. And Robson prepares this goal kick on the left-hand side of his 6-yard box. Alfreton players on the left-hand side of the pitch. And there comes that goal kick up towards Day. Flicked on. Away by Ezinolim. Forward again by Lund. Away by Jones. Forward by Newell. Jones wanted his keeper to come for that one and heads it back to him a little too...
speared him.
I was going to say a little too firmly for it to be comfortable, but in the end, good defending from Jalen Jones. Back to his goalkeeper, Laurie Walker. Jake Day asking the referee how long he has before he distributes it. And there it is, up towards Parker again, headed away by Wiley. Forward by Scott. Works its way out to Drew. Burley knocks that one. Looked like it was going to be into the area, but it turned into more of a sort of switch. Matteson does get the clearance in. There's an Olim clever little faked clearance to
reminds me of that
run it out for the throw.
That Neymar, he goes like swing it and he does a little spin, and comes over the wall. He kind of did one of them, but just let it run out for a throw-in.
Little recreation from Chi Ezinolim to win the throw for Oxford.
Ezinolim ex Neymar edit coming.
But it will be an Oxford City throw. Ezinolim sends it down the line towards Parker. It's headed away by Hunt, and then eventually fully cleared by Adam Lund. Andre Burley with some unorthodox control as it's kind of bounced off the back of his head, but it's worked out quite well. Rolled all the way through to Walker, and I think he knows he can pick it up now. It's come off the head of Burley, but go on.
We're going to see it as the second half goes on. I mean, we're about around just past the hour mark now. The Alfreton are going to become more and more desperate when it comes to getting this equaliser. Oxford are happy to run the clock down as much as possible now as well.
Yeah, and you absolutely would in their position. Off the back of that 7-0 defeat, coming to any away trip, going into any game after that is always going to be difficult, but they're fired up after that fixture and find themselves ahead here with about half an hour to go here at the Impact, and have themselves a throw right by the corner flag. It's going to be left to Chi Ezinolim to launch into the box for the away side. No changes as of yet in the second half. Alfreton probably going to look to make one.
Apparently we've got, look, where's the bench? Oh, where they're warming up.
Yeah, every man out to warm up except Owen German.
I looked at the bench and I was like, where's everyone? We've got no subs.
Right, Ezinolim gets it back from Roddy and then eventually tries the nutmeg on Cantrell. Clears the ball away and then Francis blocks the clearance from Josh Aspey. And it will be another Oxford City throw. And another one for Ezinolim to take. Takes it down the line into the area, headed away by Hunt. Don't think he quite got the desired connection there. And it's bounced out for another throw for Ezinolim to take again. 3 in a row. Osborne, the only man in red left forward. As Alfreton look to defend this set piece. Into the box from Ezinolim, headed away by Wiley. Not completely away though. Roddy tries the shot on the edge. He did well to sort of get it out of his feet and move it onto his left foot to get the effort away, but out for a goal kick over the crossbar. Hits the netting behind the goal, so gives Robson the opportunity to take this one quickly. Matteson drops off momentarily to give him that short option, but I think McEachran was wise to it. And we are now seeing Jed Abbey on the bench, stripped and ready to come on, so we'll see that change inevitably.
Oh, referee! I'm going to strangle him.
I think you can guess the way that that decision's gone off that reaction. Oxford City have themselves a free kick inside their own half. A bit of a battle in the midfield. And eventually, Oxford City have themselves a free kick. Laurie Walker comes forward to take it.
And we are seeing Jeremy make his way to the halfway line in preparation of that substitution. We'll see who he comes on for. It's either going to be a sort of shift out wide, or maybe to slot him into midfield, or are we going to go with the 2 up top? I think a change of shape would be in order at this stage in the game. The throw-in from Adam Lund, headed back forward by Newell. Scott with the hooked clearance down the line. Wiley and Hunt battle for it. Cleared away eventually by Cantrell. Forward again by Jones. Scott tries to knock it around the corner. It turns out to be a good pass from McEachran to get on the end of. He's got Roddy as the spare man. Looks to cut inside himself though. Opens his body up, lays it off to Aaron Drew on the right-hand side. Nathan Newell makes the block, but the clearance is poor. Oh my goodness me. Josh Parker, the ball ends up dropping for him off the back of that Nathan Newell clearance. And an instinctive shot, first time, comes off the inside of the left post, bounces behind David Robson, and then eventually out for a goal kick. But Alfreton Town escaped with that one. The fourth official's got his board upside down, but it is Jed Abbey to be introduced in place of Liam Waldock, so he'll slot into that midfield. But wow, Oxford City somehow haven't found the back of the net there for a second. And perhaps that's a lifeline for the Reds. They'll look at that and think,
absolutely, they have to use it as a lifeline.
we've got to get back into this game now. The throw does come in from the right-hand side. Robson doesn't quite get it away, and McEachran, thankfully for the Reds, can't get the shot away, and eventually there's an arm in there to give Alfreton a free kick and a little bit of relief from that Oxford City pressure. But Alfreton Town, things are just all over the place at the moment at the back. I mean, I'll try and run you through the sort of play-by-play of that effort off the woodwork. Josh Parker sort of in a good area inside the box, but Aaron Drew, the ball worked its way out to him from McEachran. He tried his shot, blocked by Nathan Newell, and it's kind of caught under his feet. He looks to clear it after sort of bringing it down, and the clearance just ricochets right into the path of Josh Parker, who sort of instinctively snaps at it, gets the shot away, and it bounces off the inside of the post and behind David Robson. It looks for all the world from up here that it's going to nestle in the far corner, but it rolls out for a goal kick, and then off the back of that, Robson didn't look too comfortable coming off of his line. But thankfully for Alfreton, they've made their way back up the pitch with an Adam Lund throw.
Into the box it goes, headed away by Burley. Lund knocks it back to Nathan Newell, tries to hook it back into the area on his left foot. Headed away by Jones, who's been ever present at the back for Oxford City. Headed forward by Newell, but Scott just knocks that one into it. Advanced area, Matson just about gets enough on it to nod it back to David Robson. Doesn't quite get the desired connection on that one, but Jake Day does well to bring it down. Adam Lund's got a lot of space in the middle. Lays it off for Nathan Newell. Sends it into the area, away by Roddy. Luke Mattison has space though to bring it down. Goes in field to Jed Abbey. Tries to fire that one back into the area in search of Day, but it was cleared away. Still with the Reds though. Wiley lays it across to Nathan Newell. Tries to drive it into the box once more, but that one not quite got the connection on it. Straight out for an Oxford City throw on the far side from Nathan Newell's viewpoint. But Alfreton Town have certainly had the momentum from the start of the second half until about 5 minutes ago when Oxford City came forward themselves on the break, hit the post. But I think that goes to show that is all that you need in a game, one little breakaway, and that could have sealed the game for the visitors. But instead, Alfreton Town have themselves a lifeline, and they've got to use it as exactly that. As Walker collapses on the ball from that pass into the area. Not too long to go now. Alfreton Town going to have to find a way back into this one way or another if they are to avoid defeat. Just to find an equaliser, let alone get their first win at the Impact in 2025. And the wait for that may go on. Walker's clearance sent back forward by Nathan Newell. Brought down by Jake Day. Now with Cantrell across to Osborne. Great little turn to get beyond his man, but the challenge comes in from Scott and then from Burley. And eventually Alfreton have themselves a free kick. Osborne, the man that won it. Good little sort of back heel flick to knock it round the corner. Challenge came in from Scott on Cantrell, which you heard a few appeals for, but looked like a clean tackle from up here. But then Osborne latched onto the loose ball, took it beyond his man. Burley came across, judged to have fouled the winger. And Alfreton will have an opportunity to get the ball into the box. We're also seeing Josh Claxton ready to be the third substitute for Alfreton.
Prolific goal scorer to get us back into this game.
Well, Sam Osborne, one arm raised before taking this free kick. Once again, it's only Nathan Newell staying back. And it comes from Osborne towards the back post, towards Hunt. Headed back across the face of goal. Away by an Oxford City player. Not completely, though. Abbey tried to knock it back in there. He's now battling Parker for it on that far side. No foul given from the referee for once. And Alfreton will have a throw. And I think the fact that the
Booking for diving ref.
there was no foul awarded has been met with applause from the Alfreton fans, somewhat sarcastically.
Yeah, he went down like so slowly and like animated.
But Adam Lund prepares this throw on the right-hand side. Another chance to get the ball into the box. In it comes towards the front post. Francis goes down inside the area. But Parker clears that one away. One that Nathan Newell won't have a problem coming across to send back into the box. Looking for Jake Day to get beyond Jones. Fans think he was held. Referee doesn't. Probably not enough in that for a penalty for me.
No, he'd have had to have gone down at the very least.
Well, Clacky did take his bib off, but he's just put a jumper back on, so maybe...
Because it's freezing.
I'm assuming that's just because it's Baltic at the moment, not because he's been told to sit back down and you're not coming on, mate. We'll see. Walker's clearance finds its way up to McEachran.
Clacky hooked before he's got him.
In field, and the shot does come in from the edge of the box from Jaden Carbon, but not too much.
You never know with that ground, in front of the goal.
Say, it's not a nice surface, but David Robson happily claims that one. Lays it off quickly to Newell, and he looks to go down the line for Cantrell. It's going to work its way to Lund in the midfield. Now Cantrell again has to put in a firm challenge to momentarily maintain possession. Osborne was screaming for it on that left-hand side, but it didn't make its way to him. And Oxford City now coming forward through Scott on the right-hand side. The ball in, cleared away by Max Hunt. Kept in play by Aaron Drew. Now Ashby looks to hook that one over the top. but it goes straight through to the gloves of David Robson. I think Claxton is just kind of made to wait a little bit before coming on, because he didn't make his way straight to the halfway line. But it'd be interesting to see who is withdrawn in place for him.
I imagine it'll be like for like.
Robson goes long up towards Day, does well to bring it down across to Abbey. Matteson is the man over. Abbey goes alone, blocked by Ezanolim. Few shouts for handball. And then Abbey penalised for a foul on the edge of the box as he looked to make something of that on the fallout. And I think it was Ezanolim that sort of jumped in to block it, and it's either hit his midriff or the sort of underside of his arm. Referee obviously thinks it's hit his body, not the arm.
Yeah,
so
I'm not too mad about that. It's the soft free kick again.
And we are going to see Josh Claxton introduced in place of Sam Osborne, so it's not quite like for like, but we are going to see Claxton brought in maybe to shift to a back three, and then Matteson and Newell sent on as wing backs to bomb forward. Or maybe just an effort to get Matteson further forward, get a man over on the right-hand side. We saw it just then. Matteson was making that run over on the right-hand side. Abbey opted to go alone. And his shot looked goal-bound, but Ezanolim made that crucial block to keep things level here. Billy Heath offering some encouragement on the touchline. I think we are going to have something of a back three here now, with Claxton filling in as that right centre-back. Not the tallest of players, but when you've already brought on Dwayne Wiley in the first half for Solademi, I think it's something of a makeshift swap just to get some men forward. And then Francis and Day can be the two men up top with Abbey in the 10. Newell and Matteson, the wing backs.
Kitchen sink starting to go at it.
Yeah. Well, that will leave Lewis Salmon and Owen German on the bench if there are to be any other late changes for the Reds. Oxford City still yet to make one. Cantrell tries to bring it down in the midfield, and a free kick awarded whilst Alfreton had the ball. No advantage from the referee, but I suppose it's in their own half. They'll probably prefer the free kick here. Claxton stands over this one, the substitute. Hunt makes his way forward towards the back post along with Adam Lund, Jake Day. Wiley's kind of going central, but Alfreton commit bodies forward here. They have to. Claxton delivers, headed away by Jalen Jones towards McEachran. Battled Matteson for it, and that one's going to be an Alfreton throw. McEachran didn't get onto it. Sort of slid in to try and get something there, but unable to do so. And Oxford City now, typically, after I mentioned the fact they've made no changes, they've now got one ready on the halfway line. Matteson with the ball on the right-hand side, lays it back for Claxton. First time delivery. Picked up by the wind, doesn't make it into the box. Hunt tries to redirect it, but Oxford City come away with it into Parker. Now McEachran. Don't think he's got that pass quite right, as Carbon looked initially like he was going to make the run on the inside, but nonetheless Oxford City still have it with Parker. McEachran again. Ashby hooked over the top for Carbon. Claxton comes across to deal with it, and the flag is raised against Carbon and offside. And Oxford City now will respond to that change with their first one. It's the number 7, Lewis Coyle, set to be introduced for goal scorer Zach McEachran. Been at the club for a long time now, and he's got them what could be that all-important goal in this match in the relegation battle for the visitors. Of course, still all to play for, but not much time left to play in as Robson prepares the free kick, just outside his own box on the right-hand side. Referee does blow his whistle and we can get back underway. Forward it comes over towards Max Hunt, headed away by Oxford though. Parker beats Wiley to that one. It's a good touch from the forward. Bearing down on goal now. Claxton is back, but Matteson has to recover. Disguised pass back to the edge of the box. And Alfreton again, I think, lucky to escape there. Zaran Drew was making his way into the sort of edge of the box region. But Alfreton clear their lines momentarily. The substitute, Lewis Coyle, looks to head it back into the box, but Adam Lund heads that one away. Ezanolim looks to clear it forward, but Adam Lund brings that one down in the midfield. He needed runners there. Goes back to Cantrell, then Newell. Hook down the line, looking for Francis. Up against Jones. Francis does get his body in front of it, keeps it in play. Eventually goes down under the challenge of Jones, but the referee says no foul. Out to Cantrell, though, who's got plenty of space. Newell hooked into the box by the right foot of Adam Lund. It bounces, and Roddy eventually nods that one back to his keeper. It was awkward, but Walker came off his line and was able to deal with it in the end. And it's just another piece of defending from Oxford City that, if they look at it at the end of the game, if it stays like this, gets them over the line. Walker with the ball in his hands as Francis stood right in front of him. Walker goes long up towards Parker. Ball bounces. Max Hunt eventually heads that one across for Nathan Newell to clear, but he can't quite catch it right. And that one, the backspin is just about taking it out of the ground. That's typical. But Oxford City will have themselves a throw. Slap bang on the halfway line.
She's just got back with a ball.
Pam's going to be fuming.
She's just got back with a ball.
She's handed it to the fourth official.
She's have to get the other one.
And the ball makes its way over to the left-hand side for Oxford City. Roddy goes back to Ezanolim. Down the line towards the substitute, Lewis Coyle. Tried to sort of backwards header that one back into play. It was the right thing to do, but Alfreton come away with possession. Looks to go long for Jake Day. Nathan Newell stepping in. Jalen Jones just blocked that with his hand. Unintentional or not.
He was doing a full
I was
split.
going to say, he kind of hit the splits and he had to put his hand down to steady himself.
Here we go!
And it is going to be a red card. Jalen Jones given a second yellow for that handball. And I don't know if that's the referee saying that it's deliberate or if it's denial of the goal scoring opportunity. He wasn't the last man.
Thank God this ref is rubbish.
But I think that's a contentious decision in Oxford City. You're going to have
always
every
like
right
this
to have some complaints about that one. Jones isn't leaving the field of play yet. I think he's just in utter disbelief.
Send someone else off, ref.
But yeah,
I'm
Jalen
not
Jones,
sure what infraction that is for a second booking.
I don't really know what the referee's seen there, but from an Alfreton perspective,
Well, he looked like he lost his balance, did the splits,
Yeah.
planted his hand on the floor to probably not tumble over.
to not tear his
He
groin.
did his hand and he's gone, right, well, there's absolutely no room for that in the beautiful game. That's got to go. Off you pop, son.
And come to think of it as well, I don't remember Jones's first booking,
Matheson off, Salmon on.
but we are now going to see a fourth change for Alfreton as they look to take advantage.
There's probably a soft free kick somewhere else on the pitch.
Yeah, probably.
God, I've always liked this ref.
It was for the first booking that Jones got was equally as soft. It was on Jake Day right down in front of us when Day went down.
Very easily.
And I think, that's only the two fouls that Jones has made. But from an Alfreton perspective,
He made
Jalen
one
Jones,
foul and handball and he's been sent off.
Jalen Jones has been ever present for Oxford this afternoon at the back. A massive guy in his centre half, has been heading everything. And if there was one man to be sent off for Oxford City, that's the one that Alfreton would have wanted it to be. But they will have a free kick now on the edge of the box for Jed Abbey.
Backy there.
About 25 yards from goal on the left-hand side. Will he be able to get it up and over the wall? Jed Abbey. Oh, it's off the crossbar. It's so close. I think it's actually a save from the goalkeeper. I mean, I didn't think. I'll be honest. I've told you that I think it was a save from the goalkeeper. Actually, I don't think it was a save. I know it's hit the crossbar, but the referee's given a corner, much to the disbelief of everybody in the ground. And Walker now, I think he might have hit
10
his head
minutes.
either on the post or as he's landed from that diving save, or alleged save, I suppose.
Oh, he's doing a Willis. He's doing George Willis.
Buying his team some time as they look to make a substitute. I think it's Phil Croker that's over there, one of the young lads that played in the County Cup.
He's just giving him time to get the centre half on here.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But Claxton heads on over to see. Oh no, I thought he was going to get some instructions. He's just thirsty.
Yeah, you've been on for 10 minutes.
But it is going to be, eventually, once the substitution's made, Phil Croker to come on. I think it was for the number 22, Jaden Carbon.
This is interesting.
It is certainly going to get interesting here. We're going to have a massive, massive final 10 minutes here at the Impact. As Alfreton have 10 minutes to play against 10 men.
I don't know if you spotted it. I didn't. Quinton saw it. The fans have got the goalkeeper's towel and chucked it over the fence.
Well, he won't be happy about that, but Alfreton have a corner on that far side. It's going to be Nathan Newell to take it. Claxton, the only man back. And we are eventually going to see the number 22, Jaden Carbon, come off in place of the number 18, Phil Croker, just to get a bigger body on at the back. Sort of fill in for the hole left by Jalen Jones, and it's a big hole. It's going to be left by centre-back, sent off for a second yellow card. Referee does now blow his whistle. Nathan Newell, left-footed delivery from that corner, headed away by the substitute Croker. He's immediately had an impact on the game. Claxton looks to knock it back in there towards Wiley. Headed away by Roddy to the edge. Cantrell tries to knock it back in there. Oxford City clear their lines. Claxton eventually brings that one down.
Oh!
Little Cruyff turn from Clacky as he looks to go long towards substitute Salmon. Roddy tries to head that one away. Salmon is chasing Josh Parker for this one. Parker clears that one down the line towards Adam Lund, but it's now with Francis on the right-hand side. Cross into the box towards Day. Can't get the shot right. Cantrell's in there! And he scores to equalise. George Cantrell with a rare goal to make it 1-1. Great little finish outside of the foot into the roof of the net. He had to score from that position, but Alfreton, a few minutes against 10 men, and the pressure tells. Francis with that cross in from the right-hand side. Adam Lund laid it off to him, but Francis, ball into the box to a dangerous area. Jake Day gets something on it, can't quite get the shot away, but George Cantrell bombs into that box. Frank Lampard-esque, gets onto it, into the back of the net it goes. Alfreton Town finally draw level, and now the momentum has to be going the way of the Reds with about 8 minutes left to play against 10 men. Can Alfreton Town finally get that first win at the Impact in 2025?
Well, the circumstances couldn't be any better for Alfreton now. Oxford down to 10 men. They've got the leveller. The referee's giving set pieces left, right and centre. They're going to have chances to bombard this box. We've waited nearly 3 whole games for a goal. Just before the end of this match, it would have been 3 games. We've got one. Let's hope they're like London buses.
Well, Lewis Salmon, the substitute, immediately getting in behind and trying that cross, but Ashby steps in to clear. Max Hunt, I think he wants to see that one out for a throw, and he's able to do so. Claxton, you know it's serious when he doesn't even wait for Adam Lund to take it. Down the line towards Day, flicked on, and I think there were 2 arms in the back there on the Oxford City captain. Ashby wins that free kick inside his own half, and I think now, from the visitors' perspective, they're probably going to be happy if they can come away from this game with a point from this situation. Up against it with 10 men, and I think they can rightly feel a bit hard done by to be down to 10 men, but that's the way it is. Alfreton Town,
it's not even 2 fouls, it's 2 yellow cards, but it's not even 2 fouls. He made 1 foul and then touched the ball with his hand at some point, and they've gone, off you pop, mate. Perhaps
it's the case, I mean, you mentioned during the first half or at the start of the second half, I think that it just felt like absolutely nothing was going our way. We didn't have, those sort of half chances that sometimes make their way in, just weren't finding the back of the net over the last month or so. Maybe that's a case of it's all built up for this game, and now everything's going our way in this last 15 minutes. Oxford City have themselves a throw on the left-hand side into the Alfreton half. Esnolim comes over to take it, and I think you can tell at the pace at which he's gone to get it. Oh no, there's actually no ball. It's been chucked back over to Croker, who's knocked it across to Esnolim, but yeah, I think you can tell at the pace the game's being taken for Oxford now. They're going to try and come away from this one with a point. Throw in eventually dealt with, but back out for another one for Esnolim to take. Francis knows what's at stake.
My prediction's on, by the way. My prediction's on.
Matty did say before the game you thought we would go 1-0 down.
We'd equalise and then we'd score a last-minute winner.
Well, my fingers are firmly crossed.
That would be some prediction, by the way. That's prediction of the season if I get this spot on.
That throw-in from Esnolim made its way through to the Alfreton back line, and they do surrender a corner. But it's that weird kind of dynamic now where, despite the scores being level, Alfreton Town are chasing the winner, Oxford City kind of consolidating for that point. But they have an opportunity as good as they may well get to find what could be an unlikely winner now from this corner. Ashby's over to take it. He's got Parker in the box, and alongside them, the substitute Croker's in there. Burley as well. 2 arms raised from the Oxford City captain. In it goes towards the back post. Robson comes off his line and does well to claim that one. Will Alfreton look to break? No, I think Robson's going to wait.
Get the big bodies up there.
For the likes of Day to get up there alongside Cantrell as well. Thrown out to Claxton, who's got space on the right-hand side. Looks to hit a diagonal ball over towards Day, who has made his way forward. It's away by the substitute Croker. Cantrell heads it back to Adam Lund and then recycled all the way back to Dwayne Wiley. Salmon's got space on the far side. It's in the box from Wiley, but straight into the gloves of Laurie Walker, just kind of in between the runs of Jake Day and Lewis Salmon. But not long to go now. We are in for a dramatic finish here at the Impact. Cantrell finding that leveller after that red card for Jalen Jones, and the momentum has to be going the way of Ofton now. And if we said before the game, this is really a must-win, and especially in these circumstances now, you'd like to think that case is more true than ever. Max Hunt steps into win possession from Oxford City. And I think the referee's given...
Yeah, the referee is actually so bad that he's the wrong hander.
Jed Abbey stepped in to win the ball from Josh Ashby. Ashby's kind of, fairly gone for the ball.
Clamped.
But he's clipped Jed Abbey, and the referee's immediately blown his whistle, and just pointed the wrong way. There's no other way to put that. The referee's... He's pointed the wrong way, and eventually realised what he's done, and corrected himself, raised the other arm to indicate the Alfreton free kick, which is sent forward by Robson into the box. It's away by Croker. Cantrell thought there might have been a foul there on Lewis Coyle, but referee waves play on the ball in. Drops to Jake Day on the edge now. Abbey tries to work an angle, goes out to Nathan Newell, who's got space. Can he cross? It's blocked by Aaron Drew, but out for an Alfreton corner. The fans behind the goal know that the momentum is going the way of the Reds, cheering them on. It's got to come. It's got to come now. We are going to see.
Goal.
I think that's 7 minutes of added time. There we go. He's had it the right way around. The fourth official held up an L on the board. But the ball goes into the box from Nathan Newell, headed away by Oxford. Claxton's going to be able to pick this one up.
Oh, that time wasting might come back to bite them.
We shall see. Clacky in towards the back post, headed away by Croker and out for an Alfreton throw.
I think
Alfreton Town have got 7 minutes of injury time to find a potential winner at the Impact to get their first win of 2025. For reference, it's the 15th of March. It's been a while. And it goes from Lund, headed away by Croker again, who...
Another one!
To his credit, the substitute has come on to be that big body at the back in place of Jones, and he's won a lot of headers in the short time he's been on the pitch. But that one nodded straight out for an Adam Lund throw.
They just can't relieve the pressure. There's no one forward pressing. When that ball comes out, it comes back to us.
In it goes from Adam Lund, headed by
Corner
Wiley.
ref!
And it's going to be a goal kick. It's going to be a goal kick for Oxford City. Dwayne Wiley came in to try and head that one, direct it goalwards, but unable to do so. The first half substitute out for an Oxford City goal kick. Walker, fans behind the goal, making sure the referee know their point of view. They want him to hurry things up. Naturally, as you're against that, you've got the man advantage.
There's not a sense of urgency at all from the referee to wave him on.
Well, Walker sets that ball down on the right-hand side of his 6-yard box. It will go direct up towards Parker. Challenged by Wiley. Parker does win it, but it bounces out for an Alfreton throw.
Got to get it back on Freddie.
Freddie chucked it back in there. He's abandoned the camera.
He's dropped his camera.
He's dropped the camera, but if it means that the play's restarted 10 seconds sooner and we find a winner, then it'll all be worth it. Nathan Newell goes down the line towards Jake Day. Flicked on again by Cantrell. He's going to drop for the feet of Day into Cantrell, who's got a little bit of space. Tries to feed it in behind for Jed Abbey. I think he might have kept himself onside. Plays it across the box into a dangerous area, but Walker well alert to that one and claims it down onto the ground. Jed Abbey, I think the defenders were looking for the offside flag to go up, but it stayed down from the linesman. But Abbey's crossed into the box, aiming for Salmon. Walker was able to claim that one for himself. relieve the pressure momentarily.
18 seconds, the keeper at the ball in his hands there. Nice one, referee.
Lewis Coyle brings the ball down himself, gets beyond Nathan Newell. Wiley steps across, but the foul given, I think, for the one from Newell.
This would be so Alfreton to let this in.
It would be, especially as of late. Oxford City now with a free kick.
Someone get them the ball.
On that corner of the edge of the box. And this could be a late chance for Oxford City to steal the win with 10 men at the impact. The ball in the corner is eventually retrieved by Aaron Drew. Fed back to Ashby, who you'd imagine is going to be the set piece taker here. He's been the one on the corners. Oxford City keeping a couple of players back, but Alfreton aware of the threat as well. They've got bodies back too. Max Hunt occupying Croker at the back post. Day on Burley. Cantrell on Parker. Referee's really making us wait for this one. Finally blows his whistle. Josh Ashby, one arm in the air. Right-footed delivery into the box, headed away by Cantrell. Not completely though. Nathan Newell furthers the clearance. It's going to come out to the substitute Coyle. Now Scott, pressured by Abbey. Left-footed cross from Coyle on the right-hand side, headed away by Day. Croker knocks it back into a dangerous area. Day clears again. The offside flag is up on Andre Burley. And Alfreton Town
booking someone.
Have themselves a goal kick. I think a booking dished out for the Oxford City captain, Josh Ashby. Must have said something to the referee. Won't have taken kindly to that. But Alfreton Town now, a few minutes left in this injury time period. Can they snatch what could be an all-important 3 points? David Robson takes this free kick in search of Day. Flicked out wide towards Nathan Newell. He happily lets that one run for the throw. Chucks it to Adam Lund. Wiley and Hunt need to get themselves forward.
Get up, boys. Come on!
And they make their way up into the box. Clacky stays back on his own. Literally every other player on the pitch is inside the box, bar Jed Abbey, who's in the edge of the D. In the throw comes from Adam Lund, headed away by Roddy. Out to Newell. Knocks it back for Adam Lund. First time cross into a dangerous area. Flicked on by Day. Bounces in the area, now with Salmon. Lays it across to Hunt, who tries the effort, but it curls wide at the near post, out for a goal kick. And Oxford City will be very happy with that. Behind the goal, and Laurie Walker's going to take some baby steps to get to that one. And you can't really blame him. I'm sure it would be the same if the roles were reversed. But he's treading around the back of the net before laying the ball down to take this goal kick.
Played about 5.
Got about 2 minutes left of this added time period. Oxford City have managed it well, you have to say. Not let Alfreton have much going forward in the added time period. Making use of the breaks in play as best they can. Walker goes long up towards Parker. It bounces twice. Adam Lund gets it clear. Up towards Day. Now Cantrell picks it up. Wiley staying down, holding his head. But it's laid across to Francis, cleared away by Burley. It's going to stay in play. Wiley now back to his feet. Max Hunt lays it off to Claxton. I think he wanted him a little bit further forward. Eventually Claxton does send that diagonal ball across to Day. Headed into the area towards Cantrell, away by Oxford City, only as far as Adam Lund. He loses it though cheaply, and Aaron Drew can clear that one away. Dwayne Wiley comes across to get onto this one inside his own half. He's got time to drive forward towards the halfway line. Sends that ball diagonally over towards Lewis Salmon, but it wasn't quite right. I think Jake Day wanted it a bit further right.
Might be
Laurie Walker able to claim that one. And that may be it. There's certainly not long left, probably about 60 seconds. We'll see how much time the referee adds on to the original 7 minutes after all the stoppages in this injury time period.
That's 7, I think.
Laurie Walker does go long, and we won't get any more than the allotted 7. The final whistle is blown, and after what we thought was going to be a dramatic finish in those 7 minutes, after Oxford City went down to 10 men, George Cantrell found an equaliser to earn Alfreton a point, but you can't help but feel it could have been all 3, given the scenario in the final 15 minutes.
once again, that home win this year eludes us.
Yeah.
Since the turn of the new year, we once again can't pick up 3 points at home against a team who are struggling, floating just outside the relegation zone. Yeah, they've got games in hand on all the teams below them, and most of the teams around them have got a game in hand on us. But these are games that we should be winning, and that couldn't have been set up any better for us. Tired legs, 10 minutes left. They've got a red card for more or less nothing.
Yeah.
We've got the equaliser. We've got 10 minutes to just run at them. Yeah, they're going to want to shut up shop. They're going to do everything they can to hold on to that. But I just feel it's just one of them now where I'm really starting to get worried. Yeah, it's another point on the board, and you can take that away. But this is one of them now where we have to face the facts. We're in a relegation battle.
Yeah, and I don't want to add some more sour news to that, but I'm going to. Needham Market with a 94th minute winner in their game against Chorley, which now means...
Why couldn't we do that?
Which now means that Needham Market actually lift themselves out of the drop zone, pushing Oxford City into it. So the gap between Alfreton and the drop zone now is just the 9 points with 9 games remaining of the season. Doesn't make for good reading at all. Radcliffe as well, currently winning in their game against Warrington, so that makes it a little bit more competitive. But there we are, things end level at the Impact. 1-1, goal coming in the first half from Zach Bekekran, and then a late goal from George Cantrill, which ends up being the difference maker to earn the point. But as we said, you can't help but think it could have very easily and probably should have been all 3.
Yeah, well, that's just how football is sometimes, and I'm sure the lads will keep battling. The performance wasn't as good as Tuesday night, which is weird to say because Tuesday night was a 2-0 loss. Today was a draw, but Tuesday night we looked bright. We looked like we had a bit about us, and today I think we've got a bit lucky with the refereeing decision. So it's one of them, but we'll go again. We'll be back for the next game. I want to thank everyone for tuning in for this commentary and tuning in for the halftime show. We've enjoyed it as always, and we hope you've enjoyed the commentary. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you at the next match.